A warning from Russia could redraw the battlefield lines in Europe. A top Kremlin official, Putin's close aide, Dmitry Medvedev, has declared that if NATO goes ahead with establishing a no-fly zone over Ukraine or allows its members to shoot down Russian drones, that would be nothing short of a NATO war with Russia. Dmitry Medvedev, the former Russian president, is one of Vladimir Putin's closest confidant. His words carry weight, and they come at a moment of heightened tension with NATO. Here is what triggered the warning. NATO member Poland has raised alarm after nearly 20 Russian drones strayed into its territory during Moscow's latest barrage on Ukraine. Some of those drones were shot down immediately with the help of other NATO allies, and Romania, another NATO member bordering Ukraine, reported that at least one Russian drone crossed its airspace over the weekend. Now, Poland is pressing the alliance to seriously consider the idea Ukraine has been demanding since day one of this deadly war: a no-fly zone over Ukraine. But what exactly would that mean? And why is Russia calling it a red line? Let's break it down. A no-fly zone sounds simple, but in practice, it's one of the most escalatory military steps possible. To enforce it, NATO aircraft would have to patrol Ukraine's skies around the clock. That means not only shooting down Russian drones, but potentially engaging Russian fighter jets and striking missile launch sites inside Russian-held territory if they threaten the skies. In short, NATO would not just be supplying Ukraine, it would be fighting Russia directly. That's why many leaders have so far rejected the idea. They fear it could trigger exactly what Medvedev is now warning about: a full-scale Russia-NATO war with the risk of nuclear escalation. Instead, NATO has tried to give Ukraine the means to create its own no-fly zone: advanced air defense system, Patriot batteries, fighter jets, and long-range missiles. The hope is Ukraine can secure its skies without dragging NATO into direct combat. But with Russian drones now spilling into NATO countries, the line is blurring. If Poland or Romania begin routinely shooting down drones, even defensively, that is still a military engagement with Russian assets. And that raises the question: how long can NATO avoid crossing Russia's red line? If NATO were to impose a no-fly zone, the entire war could change overnight. Russia's dominance in the air would be sharply challenged. Ukraine would gain immediate breathing space, its cities shielded from relentless drone and missile barrages. But the cost could be catastrophic. Russia could retaliate not just in Ukraine, but against NATO bases across Europe, and the Kremlin has repeatedly signaled that if its survival is threatened, it will not hesitate to consider nuclear options. Now, NATO faces growing pressure from its frontline states to act, while Moscow is making it clear that any step toward a no-fly zone is a step toward world war. The war in Ukraine was once confined to its border, now seems to be spilling across Europe.